Hello, my people. This is another one from Aflame TV. Kindly watch the video, like, share, and subscribe. God bless you.
There's a prayer movement brooding now in the spirit, and many people are praying, and they pray and just pray. Prayer has become a time reality. Prayer has become a posture-based reality. And so you see people praying, they lift up plastic chairs. Lifting plastic chair will not add value to your life. You see people praying, they are distracted. Even when worship is going on intensely, people are recording so that they can upload on Instagram. And so they are in a very intense atmosphere. They don't know what to take out of that place because they don't know how the power is mobilized. You can be in God's presence and sink. You can be in God's presence and die. You can be in an intense prayer meeting and die. Because that prayer is going on does not mean the spirit is at work. There are certain things you must touch in prayer that mobilizes the power of the spirit. And when a man wants to generate power through intimacy, the first place he must journey to is the realm of the voice of God. When God speaks, the power of the spirit is activated. If you have prayed and have not heard God, keep praying. If you are worshiping and you have not heard God, keep worshiping. If you are singing and you have not heard God, keep singing. A prayer without the voice of God is useless. A worship session without the voice of God is unprofitable. That's why people said, I have prayed, I have done everything. Why is it not working? It's not the prayer that changes things, it's the voice of God that changes things. The prayer is only a gateway. The prayer is only an access point. The prayer is a portal that you activated in order to arrive where the voice of God dwells. Because he said the voice of God is upon many waters. The waters are the dimensions of the spirit. He said the voice of God thundered. He divided the flames of fire. He said he causes the hinds to calve. That means the authority and the majesty of God is encapsulated in the voice of God. And so when a man wants to touch the voice of God, he begins to look for spiritual vehicles that helps him to travel there. Because this king doesn't shout everywhere. He dwells in the midst of the coals of fire. He said, God will ascend from the secret place of thunder. There are men that know the economy of the voice. And so every time life begins to turn to a mirage, they begin to look for the voice of God. There are many of them that will go to a hiding point and pray for weeks and pray for months. They are not coming out to tell you how long they prayed. What they are going to apprehend is a voice. And when God speaks, even if it's a whisper, it's enough. The story of Elijah in 1 Kings chapter 18, the guy has spoken. Go home. You will hear the sound of an abundance of rain. His prophetic ministry has been challenged. If the rain doesn't come, he's a fake prophet. What will make what I said come to pass? He went to the mountain, and the Bible said he put his head between his thigh and he was praying. He was praying. He was waiting for signal. The power was not in the prayer. The power was in the voice. Many people pride themselves in fasting. Many people pride themselves in prayer. Many people pride themselves in worship, but they don't know why their life is a contradiction. The reason is because they don't know that prayer is a journey. And when wise men begin to pray, they start traveling. That's why sometimes when we pray, we add fasting. Because we know that we are praying, but we are not traveling fast enough. There is noise in our head. Sometimes when we pray, we add a chant. Sometimes when we pray, we add music. The reason is because we are trying to remove everything, de-escalate every noise, de-escalate every distraction. That by all means, when we come to the mountain where the voice of God dwells, the Bible spoke about Moses. It took him 40 days. He kept climbing. Because that voice is somewhere. And until your spirit finds it, the spirit cannot walk. The spirit will only begin to walk when you hear the voice of God. In Ezekiel chapter 2 from verse 2, he said, as I saw him, I fell like a dead man. He said, but as he spake, he said, the word entered, the spirit entered into me and carried me to my feet. That means the answer was not just the presence. The answer was the speaking, because he fell as a dead man in the presence of the throne of God. What revived him was not that he was before the throne. What revived him was not the likeness of the cherubims, because before he fell as a dead man, he saw the cherubims. He said he saw them, they carried the throne of God. They moved like thunder and lightning. He said their similitude, he began to describe them for 28 verses. But with the greatness of the cherubim, he still fell down. What lifted him to his feet was when the voice was spoken. Because the spirit can't travel until the voice is uttered. The spirit begins to travel when the voice is uttered. There is something about your destiny that you have been crying for. The spirit can't walk until the voice comes forth. I know you are looking for breakthrough. I know you are looking for something. I know that the devil is playing around your corner, and I know you are angry with the devil, but the spirit can't move until the voice comes. This is why we set a command tower either through prayer or fasting, that by all means, any signal that comes from heaven, we will catch it. And the moment you catch it, you become invincible. You'll become invincible. The easiest way to progress in life is to hear the voice of God. Nothing is difficult when you hear the voice. It can level mountains. It can cause oceans to divide. It can cause quails to come from nowhere to the wilderness and give you more than enough. When they walked through the wilderness, they walked in abundance, because abundance was an economy in the voice. The day the voice shuts down, that day you begin to die. And so if you want the Holy Ghost to constantly walk in your life, the secret is access to the voice. How much of it do you have? You are not rich because you have $1 billion in your account. No, you are rich because the voice of God dwells with you. That's what wealth is in the spirit. Money is not wealth. It's the economy of the voice that provokes wealth.